Hello, everyone. My name is Loma. I'm part of the talent team here at Rasa. And today we're going to have our second interview for the humans behind the AI Rasa Studio Edition. And here with me, I have Shauna. Shauna, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Loma. So I'm Shauna. I'm a senior product manager at Rasa. I've been here only 7 months, and I'm currently leading the Swift team, which is focused on platform and platformization of Rasa products.
Amazing. And before we go into this in more details, could you tell me, how was your path to joining Rasa?
Yeah. So my background's in engineering. I held a mixture of engineering, technical product roles before, as well as engineering leadership roles in the past. And really, in my previous role, I was working on specifically in the domain of internal tooling, and we started to build out machine learning products for support use cases and starting to look at ops use cases as well. And I started to get really excited about building systems that interface with LLMs. And then I met Alan and got a chance to talk to him a little bit about what Raz is building. And it just seemed like a really good fit and a chance to totally dive into this topic.
Yes, that's amazing, Shauna. We're really glad that you're here with us. Going to a bit more details on what you're doing here at Rasa, what's an important problem that you're solving at Rasa at the moment?
So when I first joined, only I think a few days later, we all jumped over to Portugal for our big company offsite, which was great. And one of the biggest problems that we were talking about with the product was around interoperability and platformization between the products. So Rasa has two flagship products. One of them is a pro code framework, and the other one is a UI interface for building. Both are for building conversational AI. And we are trying to now make them work really well together so that teams can really get the best of both worlds, get to totally customize the engine of their model, choose what prompts that they use, and really configure integrations with their internal APIs and systems while still having kind of the usability of the UI. So my job is to try and solve the problem of how those two pieces fit together.
That's super cool. And if you could say a little bit more about the UI side of things that we call Rasa Studio.
For sure. So Studio is a newer product, but really it's designed to enable really anyone to build an AI or a conversational AI assistant. And what it does is essentially allows you to really leverage basically the power of COM and a lot of the great things that the COM framework has brought into Rasa in a friendly interface that allows you to quickly build out new flows and logic, manage content, and really test out and debug your assistant all in one.
I know that I'm just a recruiter and I tried building a studio and it was great. And if you could say like one wow factor of studio for you, what would it be?
Yeah, so I think it's really exciting for teams that have traditionally used Rasa Pro or used it or are very technical who are starting to experience Studio and what Studio can do and actually seeing a lot of value and a lot of increase in velocity in terms of actually building an assistant. So we saw that with one team, with one of our larger banking customers who was struggling with some of the templating language of Rasa Pro, running into some validation issues and starting to kind of just deal with some of the technical side of and challenges with dealing with maybe a new like framework. And we got them into Studio. They're immediately able to start building their flows and started to see already great results from being able to build their assistant.
That's so cool. Thank you for sharing, Shauna. And if there was one thing that you wish more users knew about Rasa's capabilities, what would it be?
Yeah, there's a lot. I think it's maybe hard to explain, but also I think really important once you get a grasp of it. So I think a big one is about conversational patterns or system flows. We have a few different names for this in Rasa, but what that means is essentially Rasa ships with a lot of defaults that make sure that your assistant is able to handle all of the edge cases that happen in a conversation. So when you and I are chatting, I might say something that's unclear, and you might need to clarify and ask some questions for disambiguating what did I mean. Your assistant has the same situation, that they need to be able to perform this function, but we provide this out of the box so that all users can just focus on the business logic that's relevant for their assistant, rather than focusing on all of the potential unhappy paths that can come with a conversation.
I see that you have a lot of experience, and that's super exciting. What would be like a piece of career advice that you would give for product managers or engineers out there that would like to get into this space? Yeah.
I think so for product managers and engineers, I think the main thing is continuing to really focus on what is the real problem that we're trying to solve. I think this is always challenging. There's always a lot of noise when you're building a product and customers asking for different things, and you want to make sure that you are always laser focused on what is the real customer problem that you're trying to solve. Listening, which is one of the most important lessons that I've learned, I think also throughout my career, but also especially at Rasa, is listening to your customer, really understanding what they want and empathizing with the problems that they're facing. Yeah, I think those are the two big pieces. And then just try to fail fast. So I think this is one thing that we're really trying to champion in our team at Swift, is the ability to basically prototype things, try things quickly, and try things cheaply so that you can learn from it as quickly as possible, and innovate as fast as possible. And this has been really helpful to getting some fast results out the door.
That's so cool. Thank you so much, Shauna. So this is the end of our interview. If you're interested in knowing more about Rasa, feel free to drop me, Shauna, or anyone in the team a message. And have a great day.
Thanks so much, Lama.